Science-based lifters are out of control. It has gotten to a point where these guys legitimately have silenced their intuition muscle, their gut instinct, whatever you want to call it, in the name of a piece of paper. Everybody knows when it comes to studies can be flawed, right? And I'm not saying you don't use science to make certain decisions, but it's almost like you're taking this piece of paper before you're giving yourself permission to make that decision. And you're wondering why I have big muscles. And this is why you see a lot of jacked nerds that genuinely don't know how to string a sentence together because their entire life, in terms of getting good at this thing, has been dictated on something outside of themselves. Let's not forget the entire purpose of working out. You probably got started because you wanted more confidence. You wanted to feel better about yourself. You wanted to feel strong. Maybe you just wanted to stop feeling fragile. You got picked on a lot. Whatever it is. You were fat and people made fun of you. Point is you're trying to find self-respect. That is what training is for. It's self-respect. Through self-realization of realizing, you know what? I didn't think I was capable of doing this, but putting in this much time and effort into this thing, and now I have this on the other end. Training actually used for the purpose beyond big muscles and looking pretty. That's not what training's for. I happen to have a decently aesthetic physique. There's probably people in way better shape than me. And there's probably people that know a lot more than me. But the difference is I operate under my own accord. I have my own playbook because what I want out of my life is different than this other person. And I get it. Efficiency, effectiveness, those are things I preach nonstop because if I'm going to do something, I might as well do it to its best ability. But it's the nuance and context where the science guys get completely like, it's not just about muscle growth. I want to be able to go run with my nephews and nieces. I want to be able to run with my kids as I get older. I want to be 60 and be in phenomenal shape. I don't want to just be a big muscle guy and go. That's why half of these people look awful at a certain period of time. Even like their body doesn't match their face. You can see it. And in my head, it's like, I'm just trying to maximize what I'm capable of. What is my biology and how do I maximize it? And I use my strength that I have built inside the gym over a decade to take that into real life. I love training. But don't forget why we train. If you're not getting anything outside of it, if there's a pretty girl that you want to go talk to and you don't have the courage to go talk to her, you're playing the wrong game entirely. The entire point of this is I want to have freedom of doing whatever I want, when I want to, how I want to. Getting in great shape is far beyond just a metric of like, well, technically this isn't hypertrophy. You're messing up your brain. You're not giving yourself any confidence because you don't lean on yourself. You got to start leaning on yourself a little bit to be like, you know what? I'm going to test things out. And if they work for me, I'm going to double down on them. Because no one knows what to do for your life besides you. That applies to the gym. That applies to real life. What you want to do for a living, the girl you want to marry, how you want to raise your kids. Does not matter. And this is what I see. Like, listen, there's a lot of great science channels where they're like, hey, you know, technically this hypertrophy ranking is this, and that. Great. That's your goal. Great. If you want to be a bodybuilder, great. I don't want to be one. So I have to play by my own rules. It's my playbook. What do I actually want out of my life? Is it to just be super pretty and have really like rounded out deltoids, and if I don't, I'm not happy with myself? Absolutely not. What's crazy is I do happen to be more aesthetic than the guys who work out for aesthetics. And that goes to show you, in my head, I'm looking so far beyond that. Because it's relatively simple. And the only reason why it's simple is because I had to go through layers of confusion and in the weeds, and I was trying this and this didn't work and I don't know what works, and eventually you come out on the other end, and most incredible insights you'll ever have are typically so simple. But you know you bled for that simple answer. Don't rob yourself of that by just looking at a piece of paper to tell you how to live your life or what to do. And if I want to try this and try it, it's too much. For yourself, and I'm telling you this because it'll mess with your own decision making, your own confidence, your own conviction in yourself and what you're able to deliver on. In all areas, how you work out translates over. Remember that. Train everything.